The Stream is a generative real-time piece for 4 players. The music itself is generated by a simulation, kind of like The Sims or SimCity. There's a social model which is generating a lot of the material that the players are playing, and it's being fed to them through scores, which are happening in real time. Those players are representing 4 characters, and what you hear as the piece is the result of the interactions within that social simulated model. The actual data itself is based on health levels of each character, so the louder they play, the stronger the character is. The more notes they have, the more money the character has within the social model. The system is written in a piece of software called MaxMSP, and all the visual content and the scores and the electronics are being generated by this software. The software is using models. It's basically data sonification and visualization. So the data that's being created by the system is being seen in terms of the visuals, it's being seen in terms of the scores by the musicians, and it's being heard in terms of the electronics and the instruments themselves. Some of the interactions are character specific. The hunter character, for example, is in control of wealth and money, so he actually hunts a flock of virtual animals. The hunter generates money from hunting these characters, and then he distributes that to the rest of the society. So the society needs the hunter in order to fund what the other characters are doing. The worker takes the virtual flock and processes this into food for the other characters so they can eat, so that they have physical health. The medic heals the other characters when they become sick or when they become weak, but he can only do that if he's funded by the hunter or the government at the time. The artist is in charge of culture, so he actually supports the emotional well-being of the characters. Each character is responsible for an area of society, and I guess what I'm trying to say with the piece itself is that a good, well-balanced society operates with the input of all these characters, and they're all needed in order to survive. And the society and the piece works best when they're working together and when they're not working for their own individual purposes. So today is the first time I've actually heard the instruments play this piece. It's a workshop at UEA, first time Apartment House have played the piece, and it's really just the first trial to see how the whole thing works together, to teach the musicians how to play from the score, which is quite a complex thing. It's a real-time score. And really today is a trial to work out what works, get some feedback from the musicians, factor that in. And already, in only the 2 hours that we've done so far, I've learnt a lot, and we'll be making a lot of changes as a result of what I've learnt from the musicians playing the piece so far. Apartment House are led by the cellist in the piece, who is the hunter, Anton Lukashevich. And Apartment House are kind of a collective of musicians that will play in different ensembles, some small groups, some larger groups. And they tend to do more experimental works. They play a lot of John Cage. This is why they're the perfect group for this piece, really. It's an experimental piece, and it's not traditional score. A lot of the stuff they do isn't kind of from traditional scores.